In response to the spread of the coronavirus, COVID-19, then my face-to-face learning was removed, and it will be replaced with an assignment. Starting next week I give you an assignment to study graph theory. Okay, sir. Thank you. Hey Eddie and Ronnie. Can you guys help me to learn more about graph theory? Of course. We will help you study.
Let's start. First, what is graph? In mathematics and computer science, a graph is the basic object of study in graph theory. In everyday language, a graph is a set of objects called points, vertices, or angles connected by connectors called lines or sides. In a qualified graph, which is usually not directed, a line from point A to point B is considered to be the same as the line from point B to point A. In directed graphs, these lines have a direction. Basically, a graph is depicted in the form of a diagram as a set of points, angles or vertices, combined with curves, lines or sides.
Second, what about map, model, and graph? In graph theory, a branch of mathematics, a map graph is an undirected graph formed as the intersection graph of finitely many simply connected and internally disjoint regions of the Euclidean plane. The map graphs include the planar graphs, but are more general.
For example, any number of regions can meet at a common corner, as in the four corners of the United States, where four states meet, the four corners of the USA. Even though these four states meet at a point, rather than sharing a boundary of non-zero length, they form adjacent vertices in the corresponding map graph. And then, the king's graph, the map graph of squares of the chessboard. A chess king can move between any two adjacent vertices of this graph.
Thank you. What about neighbor and degree in graph theory? Neighbor. Two vertices are said to be neighbors if they are directly connected. And the degree of a node is the number of sides that can be represented by that node. For the last one, I want to ask about coloring of vertices in graph theory.
In graph theory, graph coloring is a special case of graph labeling. It is an assignment of labels traditionally called colors to elements of a graph subject to certain constraints. In its simplest form, it is a way of coloring the vertices of a graph such that no two adjacent vertices are of the same color. This is called a vertex coloring. The same is true for edge coloring and face coloring.
For example, a proper vertex coloring of the Peterson graph with 3 colors, the minimum number possible. I am incredibly grateful for your support to come here today.